Okay. Now, do I have to carry this around?
Carry it around to follow you, yes.
Okay. We're recording this with a swivel, and I've never swiveled before. Let me try. Not too bad.
You gotta...
It's too loud, isn't it?
No, it's good.
It's going down farther, because that's not too...
This is a hot mess already.
Yeah, it's a hot mess. How many of you have worked with technology and had it not work perfectly?
It's like, absolutely not.
How many people have worked with technology and it's worked perfectly? All the time? Oh,
60% of the time, every time.
okay. So, welcome to app smashing. And I want to ask you guys, before we start talking about app smashing, what do you think that app smashing might be? I've got a prize.
In your...
Okay, who had a question? Okay. What is your definition of app smashing? Getting rid of the myths of apps, which is not easy for me to say.
Tongue twister.
I mean, it could be many things, actually. You see, if you come late, you have to sit in front. That's how it works in my classes. I don't know about you. What we're actually going to do is we're going to, it's like some apps do some things and some apps do other things, but we're actually going to combine them to make them do what we want to do. And it's something that honestly a couple of years ago, had never really thought about. I think I did it sometimes, but I didn't realize that I was doing it. But it's like you can take one thing from here and put it into something else and then change it that way. Everything we show you we're going to use is going to be free. We have 3 chefs here that are all going to do their own app smashes for you. We are recording this if I'm being successful with my Swivl. And we also have some recipes to share with you. And we'd like you to play along with us with some of these, and we'll leave you some time to do that. So, Angela, would you like to start smashing? Because if so, you get to wear this lovely, lovely mic and carry around this little black thing.
I'll carry on the black thing. You guys can hear me, right?
No, but it's not ADA compliant.
I've been policed.
Yes, you have.
I've been policed, okay.
Angela Gundam.
Hi, I'm Angela Gunter. And I'm on camera. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little bit. It's really loud. It's so solid. Okay, just loud for me. I'm going to show you a little bit about app smashing with some apps that I find to be incredibly versatile. And I set a bit of this up already. Hold on, let me switch to my iPad. I had a sous chef that chopped all of this stuff for me to start us out, so I'm just assembling today. I'm going to start with one of my favorite game-changing apps, Canva. Have any of you guys used Canva? Couple of people. Okay, so if you have folks, or if you yourself want to make beautiful web graphics or print graphics, do your own thing and or use templates that were made by designers from all over the world, Canva is your new best friend. It's going to save you a whole lot of time, particularly if you have an assignment, you give your students, you want them to make an infographic, but you want them to focus on the research and data and not so much on the design and compiling it, send them off to Canva. If you are coming to the OLC and you need to give a presentation really quickly and you sat through some ones where the slides were killer and yours are shameful, come to Canva. There's a lot of goodness here. If you want to design something and collaborate with a couple of people on the design together, like Dave Goodrich and I did on some of the flyers that we have inside of the test kitchen, come to Canva. So what I did was I created a header for this session within Canva. I found a graphic of the Incredible Hulk because my theme is App Smash, and I added a title. So from Canva, and by the way, I'm on my iPad right now, but it's important to note that Canva is available on iPad or completely available on the computer as well. You don't have to limit yourself to this device. You can use either. When you go to export on the computer, you have a bunch of choices. You have those same choices here on the iPad, and you can send all of those files to your camera roll, or you can share it with whatever cloud-based program you're using. Dropbox users, Google Drive users, it supports it all. So you can send all of your majesty that you've created within Canva there. And you'll notice that I use this basic template here, but there are tons and tons and tons of templates that you have available. You can also leverage all of the different graphics. They have icons, they have you name it. They make their money off of some of the images that they have here, but you can also upload your own files. You don't have to use what they have, and when you export, it's completely free. So I've made my header in Canva, and now if I go over to Adobe Slate, any Slate users? No. Any Adobe Voice users? Couple. Just the chefs. Okay, well we have tutorials on Canva, but also on Adobe Voice and Adobe Slate. So let me talk about those two Adobe products. When Voice came out, it was really to make interactive slideshows, and Slate is a companion to that that'll do digital stories that look sort of like ebooks that you can scroll through. The output for Adobe Voice, which we'll have a session on as well, is a video file. The output for Slate is a web page. So if you want to make a standalone learning object, if you want to make an ebook, if you have students that are doing a digital storytelling project, again, Slate is a great place to send them to compile all of this together. They have templates that are pre-designed, but you're not limited to using any of those. And I started a project for us today on app smashing, which I will publish at the end of this session and make available to all of you guys. Slate starts you out with a main area where you can add titles. You can bring in images, or what you can do is you can use one of your own images if you prefer to do that. And you also have different themes that you can leverage. And it changes the whole design seamlessly as you go through. Let's do Bruce because it's, Teresa, we'll do that. As you scroll down, and I have some items that are within here already, but as you scroll down, you'll have these plus signs where you can add different pieces of content. So for the top, I've just put in a regular photo banner. If I wanted to add some text, I have a bevy of choices here. If I bring in links, it will actually make them into buttons. I can do photo grids and go with more of a gallery look, and it will also leverage photos that are on this iPad if I want to use the camera on here, or if I want to plug into Lightroom or Dropbox. But they also have images that are in the public domain. It looks like I'm not connected to the internet right now. But you can leverage a lot of the images that are on Flickr, Creative Commons, and Wikimedia Commons. It brings those images in and it keeps the attribution with the picture, so you're all set there.
At no time in his hands lose this.
Like lightning. They also have this grid view that works like a true parallax site. And you can bring in as much or as little text, and it resizes the images and adds these effects for you. Quick and painless, all done on the iPad. When you're ready to go, what you can do is go to publish it. It will publish it out to your favorite social media, or you can keep it private and then just take a link and then use that link however you see fit. So the third part of my smash that I want to show you, you may notice that I have my lightning cord attached to my iPad that's plugged into this computer. And right now what I'm doing is I'm using QuickTime Player in order to show the screen of my iPad on here. So it'll let me record all of this. So if I wanted to actually create a video of walking somebody through the process of creating this Adobe Slate and put that out as a screencast, I could do so by just recording here. I can even choose my microphone. I don't have to use the microphone on my iPad. I can use anything that's plugged into this computer and create a whole setup of basically screencasting this particular session. Sometimes I will do a little more smashing than even that. I will shrink this screen and I will have multiple things up at the same time. So I'll bring in a web page on one side and then have my iPad on the other to show the difference between two things. And the QuickTime Player will record all of that all at once. So that's my Smash. That's the basics of smashing. Who wants to go next? I started with, anybody? Canva. I exported my graphic from Canva into Adobe Slate, and then if I wanted to record it, I could record this using, what was that? QuickTime Player. Yeah. 3 for 3? You get a prize, sir. What's your favorite color? Let's see if I can get close. Favorite color? You're just like, I don't know what my favorite color is. Fair answer. Fair answer. You're getting, yellow it is. Thank you so much. All right. Our next smasher.
Oh goody, I get the mic again.
Let's hear it for Angela.
Woo woo.
I want my mic.
I'm walking away with it. I'm taking this and running.
So am I operating on the, I want the laptop shot.
Do you have everything in the browser for you?
Mhm.
In Chrome?
Oh, okay, great. All right. Am I lavaliered correctly? Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, well, I'm a college professor. I teach instructional technology in the College of Ed at Florida Atlantic University. So I teach pre-service teachers and in-service teachers and teachers that want to become instructional designers and get out of the classroom or become professional development people. Anyway, so I'm going to give you the college professor's view of app smashing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Padlet. And if you have never used Padlet before, anybody in here used Padlet before? It's a very easy program to work with that you can pretty much do anything with. It gives you kind of a virtual poster that you can put words on and pictures on and videos on and stuff like that. So for me, this would be the first app that I would use, and they do have this also on the iPad, so you can use it as an app instead of using it as a computer if you want. So look at this as kind of a bare bones, oh, I love that hourly announcement. Look at it as a bare bones Padlet that you might use for your students to introduce them at the beginning of a class to some of the important information. So I have a silly picture of me up here, because you know it's always nice to see what your teacher looks like. And then I uploaded my curriculum vitae here, so if they want to, they can look at that boring thing and open it up. That's just a PDF file that I very easily uploaded. And then I have, what I do with my syllabi is when I have an online class, I have my own YouTube channel. It's really, really boring. All it is a bunch of screencasts of me introducing, you know, various workshops I teach for OLC or Quality Matters, or things for my students sometimes that are a little procedurally complicated, like if we're trying to do something in Excel that they might have to look at several times, and I'll use Screencast-O-Matic is what I use, the free version. I think that Dave will use some Screencast-O-Matic in a moment too. If you've never used Screencast-O-Matic, it's awesome. It just records everything on your screen while you talk through it, and you can do whatever you want. Super easy, works well. Only deal is it only keeps one on their server, and if you want to have more than one, you can also download it as an MP4, which is a really great format, but you can upload it to YouTube, so you can use it forever and ever and ever if you just sign up for a free YouTube account, and then you end up with this boring YouTube account like I have. But it's very useful. So what I did was I pulled one of my welcomes where I was going over the syllabus for one of my classes, and I took it into a program that's called Zaption. Zaption is an interactive video tool. There are a lot of free interactive video programs out here. Actually, Zaption is here, someplace. Oh, okay, Zaption's over here. Educanon is another one that's really good. TED Talks actually has a TED Ed one that does some of these same things. But what I did was I pulled it into Zaption. And so you could go out onto YouTube and find any Zaption, you know, for anything that you want. In fact, I have my undergrads do lessons with Zaption. But I picked my own YouTube video of a screencast of my syllabus, and I put it up here in Zaption. And then what I did was I just simply put the video back into Padlet. So if you open it up here, here's my syllabus zapped. So it's my screencast of my syllabus zapped. She says, dun, 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 dun. Well, it is not big. Am I not clicking on it well? Okay, I'll go back to Zaption. Not important. I'll show it to you in Zaption since it's not being well behaved here. Because it's really the same thing. It's just the embedding in Padlet that's not being well behaved at the moment, but it would look the same. So what these are is they are tours. Do we get audio?
We should.
Do we have it muted on the machine?
I can hear you a little bit.
Okay, all right. Could I do this to the speaker? Okay, so what I have done in Zaption, is I have inserted multiple choice questions and text into the Zaption. This is me introducing myself to my students. Here's my communication policy. You know, what's the best way to contact me? Multiple choice. Yes, I have questions. Her question is, how does this work with it works outside of campus. You can either have a professional or a free version. Here's a professional version which allows you to be able to identify the students and look at the security. Because basically, the students would either just type their name in and not start an account, okay? Or they would have their own account and they would be logged in, and you can see analytics on the background as a teacher, so you can see whether what a student has answered with the free version. The only thing about the free version is they only give you about 5 tools that you can use. So you have multiple choice, you have checkboxes, you have maybe an image that you can insert, you can do a little drawing, that type of thing. But you don't quite get all the tools that you could use if you use the paid version. But like everything else, they'll also give you a free version that you can use for 60 days. In fact, you probably win a free version here. But Zaption is really, yes?
This one will play okay without the intro.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
My name is Anna Musgrove, and I am the professor for this course. Let me give you a quick tour of Blackboard and talk about the syllabus for just a second. Here's some information about how to contact me best. Email is the way to do that. I have 2 email addresses here, my FAU email address and my Gmail address. I'm also very active on Skype, and this is my Skype username, so send me a user request on Skype if you'd like to catch me there, and just tell me that you're in this class.
So there is a question. I just skipped ahead to the question part of that particular part. Let me show you really quickly, if you open that for me in a different tab, if I started a new tour, which is what they call these videos. You would simply just search for whatever you wanted to do a tour on, and this is really dangerous because I haven't done anything yet, so I'm just going to go to Google. Anybody got some good stories about how sometimes they went free-flying on the internet in front of a class and it didn't go well? Okay, something found on Google Maps. Okay, so I'm going to pick this one. Found on Google Maps, yes? Yes, I did. No, maybe not. Okay. Would you like me to do 10 crimes caught on Google Maps?
We wanted to kick off this session.
Yeah, and I'm almost out of time. I want Dave to be able to come up here and play with you. We are searching for all Ann Musgrove videos. Ah, look, there's a whole bunch of Ann Musgrove videos. So once you find the one that you want, you add your video to the tour. And then what I wanted you to see was these are the tools that you get for free that you can insert wherever you want to in the video. So you get a text slide, a image, a drawing. I know I'm great with drawing with the mouse. How about you guys? You can do an open response, so that would be a discussion, so that would be very useful for you. I've got 29 whole seconds. And multiple choice questions and check boxes. And you just simply drag it down to wherever you want it in the video, and it asks you whether you want to put it on the sidebar or on top of the video itself, and then you simply save it and publish it. So what I did was I took a Padlet, which is like an open poster, and I threw some things on my Padlet, and then I found a video, and I used a video of me talking about my syllabus and introducing the course to my students, and then I put it in Zaption so I could actually have them answer questions about, like, what's the best way to get in touch with me? What's my late policy? What's the best way to bribe me for a grade? So that they have all that information. And yes?
And I was just wondering, with Zaption and asking them questions and things, are you tracking that, or you bring that in for their grade at all at any point?
I use mostly project-based learning because I'm in teacher education, so I have my students create Zaptions as lessons within a unit, and then if I was using it in this way, I would just be trying to shake up a intro and make it more interactive. So I would hope that they would use their real names and stuff like that, but I wouldn't be too concerned about tracking it. Yes? Excuse me? Getting feedback on the responses. Yes, with the free version, you can go in and you have analytics, and you can see what's on the back side and who answered what. There's not a lot of information, obviously, in this one, but there is an analytics in here, and you can see who interacts with it and what their answers are, assuming they gave you the right name and all that good stuff. They can simply type their name in when the Zaption comes up. You could ask them to create an account. I would like to say one thing about that. We're starting to be really careful about what Web 2.0 tools that we have our students use and what those privacy settings are. So Dave is our next master chef. I love what I do at cooking shows. Please get my face off the screen.
This has been fantastic. I'm David Goodrich, and I am an instructional designer at Michigan State University. Oh yeah, I heard this was the hat smashing session. Did I hear wrong? No? Okay. It's a fashion show event, right? Oh, okay. Just kidding. I'm gonna show a few smash-ups of different apps here, and we've heard already from Anne and Angela on some really great apps already. I'm curious, how many, I'm going to use a really new technology. It's never been used before. It's a clicker technology called hand raising 2.0. How many of you are instructors? Can you raise your hand? Okay. How many of you are in administration of some sort? Okay. Any of you both at the same time? Okay. Staff at, okay, great. Awesome. IT. Oh, instructional designer. Yeah, so I would raise my hand as staff and faculty because I teach some courses too. Great. So that gives me a sense of where you're coming from. How many of you have ever used Prezi before? Okay, great. So you've seen it before. I'm not going to spend a lot of time in it, but oftentimes I'll use Prezi very similar to what Anne described in terms of her using Padlet and using Zaption, which was so funny. She referenced them and they're right behind us. I saw the guy over at Zaption come out, like he's setting things up and he heard Zaption and he's like, am I on? So it's kind of funny. Right, yeah. We're not being paid by any of these vendors, just full disclosure. We just like using these Web 2.0, I don't know if that's what's called.
If any of them would like vendor negotiations,
Yes.
they are available in that.
Absolutely. Afterwards, we're glad to talk money. No. Okay, but seriously, on that note, too, afterwards, if you guys have any questions about the tools and the apps that we've been talking about, we would be glad to answer any questions about how we've been using them and learn from you about ways that you've used them as well. So Prezi, I like to use Prezi in a smash-up kind of way because I bring in a lot of embedded videos into Prezi. I recently helped work on a massively open online course that ran this summer that was on the Canvas network, and it was called eSankofa. It was about the African American experience, and we used Prezis for every single module in that course. We had 800 some students in the 5-week course. It was kind of a pilot run for us, and very fascinating discussions, timely discussions. And we used Prezi where each of the facilitators for each module did an introduction to the module in Prezi. And did you know, I'm just curious, did you know that in Prezi you can add audio to each path within Prezi so that the student experience as they're going through slide by slide, they can hear you talk over that particular either image or even video, which is interesting. We found if you embed a video on Prezi, you can actually talk over it while it's playing in Prezi, and it's kind of distinguishable because they have the audio of the background stuff kind of duck as you're talking in Prezi. Kind of interesting stuff. Oh, thank you. So, this is a Prezi that I use just to introduce the students to a course that I teach for the Masters of Arts in Educational Technology at MSU. And there's some background music going with some audio. So I'm talking about taking Prezi and doing a layered video. So if you've created a Prezi before, have you considered ever making a video of that Prezi and taking that video of the Prezi and having it be maybe on YouTube or Kaltura on MediaSpace or Vimeo or whatever video hosting platform, so that the experience is more linear versus kind of interactive as it is on Prezi. There's some reasons why you might consider doing that. In terms of ADA compliance, you might, because Prezi has no ability to caption the audio if you put audio into Prezi. You can work around it and stuff, but if you wanted to create a video from your Prezi presentation, I think it was Anne who mentioned Screencast-O-Matic, which is a great tool to use to capture your Prezi. So here I am at screencast-o-matic.com. Yeah, that's a really long URL, but it's worth remembering and writing down. Screencast-o-matic.com. I wish that they would shorten that URL someday. I'm sure that they're working on it, but it's one that's definitely stuck in my mind over the years because it's been so valuable. Because I don't have to download any like Camtasia software or any screen recording software onto any machine I'm using. What's that? Or pay, yeah. And totally free, and I can capture my screen and my webcam all at the same time. So let's try that. So I'm gonna hit record screencast. I don't even have to download any software. It's all Java based, and I can record my screen. So it's saying recorder is launched. Here it is. it gives me the option, do I want to record my screen or my webcam or both? I'm going to say, hey, how about both? Let's do that. So I'm going to say, let's go ahead and start recording this. So you can see on my screen here the dimensions that it allows you to configure. You can change the dimensions. Let's say I only wanted to record this much of the screen. I could do that and move that around. Let's see. There it goes. I just want to record this part of the screen. And let's go, and I want my webcam recording. So let's tell it what webcam I want to record. And there I am with my hat mashup. And Screencast-O-Matic is always making updates. In fact, it made updates so recently, since the last time I've used it. I'm not seeing the record button. Can anyone guide me to where it's at? Okay. Where is it? Oh, right on the screen. I swear, it's so easy to use. Lower left, under 5. Oh, it's down there. It's hidden under my dock. That's why. Thank you. So there's that red record button. And it counts it down and starts recording, and I'm going to jump over here to my screencast. If I had done this correctly, I would have changed the dimensions to just be the Prezi here while it's recording, and then I can go through, and it's capturing this entire experience, both me talking as well as the Prezi as it's speaking. Now it doesn't, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe they made an update recently, but it doesn't record the computer's audio. Oh, if you pay, it can. Nice. Okay, so if you pay Screencast-O-Matic, it will record also your computer's audio. So that means if you have an embedded video or audio in your Prezi, it will also record that at the same time. There's others, like Camtasia, will also do that if you pay for Camtasia, it will record your computer's audio too. Keep me track on time, because I have no idea. 10 minutes? All right, great. Fantastic. All right, so we've got a little something recorded. Now I know my record button is way down here, so I'm going to hit stop. Or at least I think I hit stop. And let's see what we have here. If I had done this correctly, I would have changed the dimensions to just be the Prezi here while it's recording. Okay, there, so I've got my video. And I'm going to say, yeah, that's pretty good. Now you can't do any like post-editing on this video. You could download it as an MP4 and do some post-editing on a video editing platform of choice. Or you could also pay Screencast-O-Matic and do some editing right in the cloud through Screencast-O-Matic. But I like it just as it is. I just want to run with that recording, so I'm going to go ahead and say, yep, I'm done. So it has it here, and it shows me some things I can do. Like I said, I could download it as an MP4 file, a video file. I could upload it to Screencast-O-Matic, or I could upload it directly to YouTube. So I'm gonna save this as a file, so I can decide what to do with it. I know I want to get some captions on there to be ADA compliant. So I'm gonna say publish, and it's starting to download that MP4 to my computer. Okay, so that's happening in the background. I'm going to let that go.
Just a quick plug, captioning is Friday at 10:45.
Oh, so we have a session on captioning Friday at 10:45. Don't want to miss that. Good plug. Okay, so we've got that video. We can do all kinds of things with it now. We could upload it directly into our learning management system. Blackboard, Canvas, Moodle, whatever you're using. We could upload it into YouTube, Vimeo, whatever video platform We can do the captioning and all that. Let's jump to another app real quick. Raise your hand if you've heard of Snagit. Keep your hand raised if you knew that Snagit is now not just an application you can download to your computer, but it's also now an extension for Google Chrome. Did you know that? Okay. So it's a really nice Chrome extension. I actually had a former student worker who worked for me who developed it. He works at TechSmith. TechSmith's right in Lansing, right? We're neighbors with them. We have a lot of good friendships. And that extension, I use it so often. One of my favorite things using the Snagit extension in Chrome is the little unknown gem that you can actually record video with it. And if it's under, I think it's 10 seconds, it might be 15 seconds. It might even be 20 seconds now. They're updated. Oh, thanks. I forgot I'm being recorded. I need to have this on me. What if I put it right here?
I don't know.
Maybe that'll help? Okay. Okay, so, what was I saying? Oh, Snag. Snag. So if it's under like 20 seconds, something like that, you can take that video recording and convert it into a GIF. So do you know what a GIF file is? Some people say adamantly you're supposed to say GIF. I think the creator of GIFs says it's supposed to be GIF, but if it's supposed to be GIF, it should be GIF, like peanut butter. But it's not. I'm gonna say it's GIF. So we're sticking with GIF. You cool with that? Sticking with GIF. Okay. So you can convert it into a GIF file so that it's actually a looping screencast that you can embed anywhere. So like, let me give you an example. So here I'm using the TechSmith Snagit extension for Chrome. And this is what it looks like right here. As you can see, I'm kind of an extensionaholic, where I like to use way too many extensions. And in fact, there's an extension that helps called Extensity that helps me manage my obsession with extensions so that at one time I'm only using at least, or at most, about 20 extensions at a time. You know, I gotta cap it somewhere. Anyway, so all these extensions that I have in my Chrome browser, they've all made the cut. They've all made the 20 cut, and one of them is TechSmith Snagit, and this is what it looks like. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, so Snagit will only work on certain pages. Okay, so let's say I want to give an example of my use of Screencast-O-Matic with Snagit. So I select the Snagit extension in Chrome, which is the best browser in the world, by the way. Some people like Firefox. I prefer Chrome. So here in Google Chrome, you'll see that one of the options under video is to record the screen. So I'm going to select that. And it says, well, you want to record your entire screen? Sure, let's do that. Okay. So we'll hit share. And it's recording. I can give it a little example, go into help. And then I'm going to say, stop recording, and notice I was 7 seconds. So here's my recording. Oh, and it says what Google account do you want to upload this to? I'm gonna say, okay, you can upload it to my Google Drive account. I can name it Screencast Loop. And here I can watch it, and I'm demonstrating in this loop how to go to the help section of Screencast. And there it is. I like it. So I'm going to say, I want to download this as an animated GIF. Cooking. Look, they're even using cooking terminology. Perfect. So I'm going to hit download. Now I've got this GIF on my computer, looping of that action on Screencast. So now I have it on my computer. I'm ready to go. So over here in Google Presentations, how many of you have ever used a Google presentation before? Okay. So some of you have, some of you haven't. There's lots of advantages of using Google Presentation versus PowerPoint. There's also advantages, definitely, of using PowerPoint versus Google Presentations. One of my favorite things about Google Presentations is the collaborative nature of it. I can work with others and develop and stuff. But one of my other favorite things about Google Presentations is that you can embed GIFs in it, and it works in your PowerPoint. So here in Google Presentation, I've got this blank slide, or let's see, I'm gonna open up a blank slide here, and I want to upload. Image, and I'm gonna select that GIF that I just downloaded. Here's that screencast GIF. I'm gonna select Open. Here it comes. In there, it's saved automatically. And when I hit Present, you notice on that slide, I can be talking about it while I'm presenting. It's just looping over and over. So I do this all the time thank you. I do this all the time for presentations so that I don't have to stand at the computer and demonstrate something while I'm talking about it. It's looping what I'm talking about when I can stand over here. Very convenient, and you have these loops that are really focused. I also embed those in tutorials that are text-based so that you can actually demonstrate an action that's not just a stagnant screenshot. All right, so I've got 2 minutes. What's that? All right, yes. We've talked about all kinds of apps today. So far, we've talked about Google Presentations a little bit. We've talked about Snagit, extension for Chrome. We've talked about Prezi. I was going to talk about this nifty trick that I recently discovered where you can take a vector graphic. Do you know what a vector graphic is? So typically graphics are not vector-based, so if you try to zoom into them, it'd be pixelated, but vectors are ones where it never gets pixelated, no matter how much you zoom into it. So I really like vectors for graphics because you can do a lot more with them. But what's frustrating to me about vectors is I can only work with them like on Photoshop or some application, and I can't really work with them on the cloud very much. So I was going to show you how to take a vector file, convert it from a .ops to a .wmf, and bring it over into Google Drive. And you can actually then have a vector file in Google Drive that you have in the cloud that you can collaborate with others on changing the dimensions. Super neat. I can talk to any of you about it afterwards. Or all of us master chefs within the Test Kitchen will be here afterwards. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to run them by us. Anything that I've talked about so far, if you have any questions that you'd like to run by me?
So we're doing... I'll just hold it. So we're doing a bit of an unconference at the very end of the conference. Last session, before we close up the kitchen, what we're going to do is have a recipe swap. We're fearless. We want you to throw any crazy ingredients at us, Iron Chef style, and then we will cook them up for you for our very last session. So you can go, I actually left you a link on Twitter. You can tweet us, or you can go on Answer Garden. I don't know what's going on. Who knows, who cares? Sure, maybe. Oh, I did. I just punched it. I smashed into it. We also left you, whatever. On Twitter, you just gotta roll with it. On Twitter, we left you a link to a infographic that we made that we annotated with Bing Link. So we left you as a deliverable another app smash. We used PictoChart to make the infographic, and then Bing Link to give you all sorts of resources that are great for app smashing, in addition to the ones that we showed you today. So go on there, check it out. All of this is there waiting for you, including our contact information if you want to tweet us. And that is pretty much it. We hope to see you if you're... Go on Twitter. Oh, OLCTTK. That is our hashtag for everything. So if you want to keep up with what we're doing, I'll also write it on the dry erase board. We'll go low tech, no tech. We do it all, and then we'll get you there. And come see us. We're gonna be here in the test kitchen throughout this time. In addition to these types of demos, we're just in there with all sorts of fun tools to play and explore. We have those cardboard Oculus Rifts that are really interesting. I was inside of a dinosaur this morning. A little bit sketchy, but you can choose what you want to be inside of. You just have to do it inside the technology test kitchen. All right, any questions? Thank you so much for helping us kick this off.
All right, here's your tweet. Wait.
Yep, that one. Who is next? Thank you, that was interesting. Oh, such a pleasure.